Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Bros and Cons podcast. This time around, we are covering Yellowjackets season 2. We just wrapped up The Last of Us, which was our favorite thing. And now we are doing Yellowjackets, which I actually just watched the first season. Like, I binged it in a weekend.
She binged the hell out of it. But she's all caught up.
I'm all caught up. I really loved it. It was something that I always wanted to watch, but I never had like access to Showtime until now. So
yeah, I watched it probably 3 or 4 months ago. So I didn't watch it when it premiered either.
Yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Binged it all in one go and really loved it. And then, yeah, so ready to dive into it because it's some good content.
It's really good. Yeah. I really love this show. I hope you guys watch it before watching this because there are spoilers abound.
Everywhere. Everything everywhere all at once.
So season two just premiered Friday.
It actually premiered early. It was supposed to come out Sunday, but it came out Friday, so everyone got to jump on it.
I got a
big jump on it because I was fortunate enough to go to the premiere in Hollywood, which was fun.
That's so dope.
It was so great. It was quite an experience, like, because obviously I've been to like festivals and like smaller premieres, but never anything on this scale. So it was quite fun to go to. You know, you can get tickets online without being cast or crew. It's like a small selected group of people. They selected me and my wife Marcy, so we got there like right at the cutoff, and we were there just in time and got to stand at like the red carpet area, which was pretty fun. And then we got to go in and they had like a huge crowd, which I gotta say, watching a TV show premiere for an already established show with a crowded theater, like that's an experience in itself, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, like
because there were people that were like laughing at all the parts. Like it's fun because you usually just see a show in front of your own TV, but to see it as with a whole theater is just I recommend it. I highly recommend it. Like you could tell people were just loving it, and you could tell a lot of the cast and crew is, I think, just excited to be there and see it on a big screen too. So
yeah, that's so cool. So there was cast and crew there as well.
Yeah, most of the cast was there, like all the big names, like Melanie Linsky was there, and I totally forgot how jarring her Kiwi accent is. I wasn't ready for that.
Something really cool to do is go to a theater, like for, at least in my experience, for like a movie that you really love that's like sort of in the zeitgeist, and you go with a ton of fans. Like going to Alamo, like a Star Wars premiere was always the coolest because you get like the enthusiasm from the whole crowd feeding you.
Yeah, so like if you've never been to a fan premiere, they give you like this thingy zone, then they give you a little screening ticket like that.
That's so cool.
And then we all got popcorn.
Was it good popcorn?
We're actually fantastic popcorn. I mean, it's the Chinese theater.
Oh,
so you gotta have good popcorn.
You are thriving. You are living the life out there. That's
living so rad. I know, right? I'm still bummed I didn't get into the Last of Us premiere. I think I was way too late to the line on that one, but yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys did that.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, so let's jump in. Let's jump into it, bro.
Yes.
So this starts out with Lottie.
Yeah, which I'm glad it did, because I think what the last line of the series is, who the fuck is Lottie Matthews? So, like season 1 anyway. So it's like, okay, they're jumping right into it, you know?
Yeah.
And she's always kind of been a more mysterious character, I guess. I mean, so the first time I watched the show, I'm kind of like a season and a half I'm on a rewatch of it. The first time I watched it, I really just assumed everyone was being superstitious and it was grounded in reality. But now I'm starting to get more like my second watch through, I'm like, okay, maybe this has more of like a Lost vibe to it.
Hmm.
than I originally kind of picked up on. I'm like, oh, she's just schizophrenic, and now she's causing all these people to follow her. But now I'm
Hmm.
like, well, maybe they're actually going more of a supernatural route with the show. Is that's kind of the impression I'm getting.
But I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I don't know if they're trying to fake us out with it because a lot of
Right.
stuff could be explained by this, that, or the other
Easily.
thing.
Easily. Yeah.
Like it could be fully explained by trauma, it can be fully explained by,
Mhm.
but on the other side of the coin, like you said, it could very much go into the the spooky realm. Especially,
Exactly.
I want to say, especially with the unexplainedness, and I will get into it a little bit later, but the man with no eyes
Hmm.
that Ty sees.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So I do want to get a little bit further into that.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind
But
of
it
also get like unreliable narrator vibes from just the
mhm.
whole show, where it just seems like you can't really trust anyone's POV as well.
Right, because I mean everything is sort of through the lens of undeniable trauma.
Exactly. Like, and they all have trauma, clearly.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see what direction they take the show in terms of is it, isn't it,
Yeah,
what is really going on.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
think I think Lottie is a really interesting character too because I don't think that she's a natural leader.
no, not at
I
all.
think that her this sort of rise that we're seeing is all um like reactionary,
Hmm. Yeah.
trying to explain what's going on and seeing that someone's like just a little bit tuned in, a little more tuned in than everybody else. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Could
Yeah.
um sort of I guess get you there, especially like the sort of Wiccan ritual that she does before
Hmm.
Travis and Nat go out to hunt. Like it's
Right.
just interesting to see.
It is. Yeah. I'm very curious to see where they take her character as a whole, because clearly she's like running this cult as an
Hmm.
adult.
Yeah.
Now she's like a 45-year-old woman who has just like fully embraced it
Yeah.
instead of
Uh, Yeah. I
yeah,
think it's
instead of it
interesting
just
that her oh go ahead, sorry.
no, just instead of it being this period of her life as a teenager to get through this traumatic thing, like she's made it her entire identity.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like what is the switch there? Like because we see like a progression of they put her through
Electroshock. Yeah.
electroshock therapy
Hmm.
and all this stuff. So like where does she decide that no, this is it, this is going to be
Hmm.
my life? When does she embrace that
Right.
and carry it forward? I also I want I just and I know we're gonna get answers, but like I want to know why she captured Nat in the present. I want to know why, like what is her thinking there?
Hmm.
Um, does she actually have like malicious intents, or is this just sort of like her natural progression of leadership?
Right. And I'm very curious because I think she's the first person they've shown as a teenager just returned from
Yes.
it,
Yes,
from
they
the
have.
forest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm very curious if they're going to start integrating more scenes of them recovering from their trauma as
Mm-hmm.
teenagers. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's quite interesting to see.
Yeah. I was surprised, and maybe it is there, but I didn't really see it. I was surprised that they didn't keep the scar on her forehead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, the scar's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only been
Mhm.
2 months. Like technically it still should have been there.
No, when she's older.
Oh, and she's older. Yeah, you're right. Well,
Mm.
I don't know.
I don't know. It
Guess
just
it
seems
healed.
like a culty thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is an interesting sort of because we talked a lot about control when we talked about David in The Last of Us.
Hmm.
This is an interesting piece to pull up here too, is like what is she about? What is Lottie about? Is she about control and
Hmm.
this, or was she or her intentions truly like I can help people this way?
Right. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what all of her motives are.
Hmm.
Because something about it feels more sinister to me. It doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel um, like she's doing it with good intentions
Yeah.
necessarily.
Interesting.
So then we moved to Shauna.
Yeah, I want to talk about Shauna.
Yes. There's a lot going on
let's
there.
talk about Shauna.
Both-
Let me also just say, I want to state for the record that this entire cast, older and younger cast, fucking phenomenal.
It's incredible.
This is like some of the best shit I've seen, even from like the not as important characters. Like it's just everyone is top notch.
Yeah, they're great.
And
they're great.
It's a joy to watch everybody.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we've talked before about how much we like Melanie Lynskey.
Right.
And she's amazing in this show.
She's great.
Yeah.
Both past and present Shauna is struggling a lot.
Yeah.
So we open on Shauna talking to dead Jackie.
Is one of the characters say dead ass Jackie?
Dead ass Jackie. I gotta say, I love and hate the cut of it just going from her being alive and then it just does a hard cut to her being dead.
Yeah, I think they made an attempt there, I think, to sort of smooth it out. But I think at the end of the day, the editor was like, "Let's be jarring."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I would have. I think.
Oh no, it works so well.
It works so well.
Yeah. It's so unsettling. And it just shows you what kind of like guilt and mental trauma she's going through as a person.
And see, this is interesting to me too, because like Shauna up until now seemed to be one of the like more even keel ones.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Nope. And now we're seeing her sort of descend into, and same with older Shauna as well, as like she seems like pretty well adjusted, like sad, still dealing with stuff at first. And then we see like these hints, like when she kills the rabbits and stuff, like we see this sort of descent. So I think that's something that we're going to explore more in the show, and I want to see how far they'll take it.
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah,
how
for sure.
how wild can Shauna be? And we see that very clearly in the very end shot of this.
Yeah, which we will get to.
We'll get to it.
I like an observation kind of that just kind of a lot of people seem to talk about from last year, where basically the death of Jackie symbolized the death of the humanity of the group, because she was the one kind of clinging on to societal hierarchy and groundedness. And once she was gone, it was kind of like free game on how their behavior would spread.
I also think that they set her up as the person that is losing the most out of this, because she had, people adored her.
Right.
And she's the only character that really had that. So she had something that, that she was missing, maybe just a little bit more than everybody else.
Yep. Definitely. And you can tell like she's also seemingly got the best life out of all the characters as well. Like before, like she came from a huge house and had she had very loving parents. Her mom's a little crazy, but
I think the problem there is like her parents, she's got only child vibes too.
That too.
So
yeah.
I think that the issue there is like her parents worshipped her.
Yeah.
And a lot of it seems like a lot of people in the school worshipped her, and the coach made her the leader because he said, you've got influence, something that nobody else has.
Yeah.
And once she started to lose that, she started to like go in a different direction.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So it just kind of interesting to just an observation on how the group is becoming more unhinged.
Yeah.
Now that
I think especially Shauna, because the rest of them, I don't think as much hinged on Jackie.
No, but absolutely Shauna, her, because it's her best friend. So
exactly.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And present day Shauna is just fucking shit up.
The thing that I like about these characters too is they're all smart.
Yeah.
And Shauna's smart, she's figuring things out, but just to like everything is sort of spiraling.
Oh yeah. So in her present day issues, she is trying to cover up her accidental murder of her lover. Which poor guy died in the stupidest way possible.
I know.
he did
Poor
not
Adam.
deserve that.
No.
I was not expecting them to go find his apartment and it just be full of images of her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
wow, they really did have a lot of evidence to get rid of.
they did. Yeah. It was it's they're so in their marriage that, and it was something that was brought up in the first season, like right at the very beginning, is they're like both, because they've been together for so long, it was like a
Mhm.
weird way that so that like they're just trying to they find sparks in their marriage in really weird ways, and
Yeah.
seeing this guy obsessed with Shauna is like, oh,
Mhm.
ooh,
Mhm.
that's it for me. So
Exactly.
just, and I feel, I didn't think that I would ever feel bad for Jeff,
Mhm.
but I do feel, I feel a little bit something for Jeff here. Like, yes, it was like, it really is his fault, but also he
Yeah.
didn't know how deep this rabbit hole with his wife could go.
No, he had no idea. Like, I kind of get the impression she's never really told him what happened
No,
there.
I think the only thing that he knows is what he found out in her journals.
Yeah. And I don't think she put much there either.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see how roped into this he all gets.
Hmm.
Um,
He has, okay, hold on really quick, because I didn't talk to you about this. Going back to the first season, when he finds out that she was having an affair with Adam, the
uh-huh.
line that killed me was, she was like, "Did you really think I was going to book club?" And he goes, "There's no book club."
Yeah, that's the thing is I do feel bad for him because he really was like, aside from trying to, you know, blackmail Thaisa,
Yeah.
like he's a pretty good husband otherwise.
He's a good, like the way
Yeah,
he stuck up for her in when he was when they were at brunch with
at the
Jackie's
brunch,
family.
yeah,
It really did, like, it turned him for me a little bit. Like, oh, he does love her. He
yeah,
loves
he
her, and
does.
he likes his life. He wasn't having an affair. He's just kind of an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, he's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Like,
But it kind of made him a more interesting character for me to watch.
yeah, yeah. No, Shauna is definitely the brains of the relationship,
Yeah.
but he's just your hardworking husband that loves his wife. So
Yeah.
he just gets himself
He's
into
so
some.
dumb.
He's not that bright.
No, I love that, like, so he has a headbanging session to Papa Roach
Yeah.
in his car, which I loved. I love that they put that in there, and he also just puts like way too much lighter fluid in the grill when they're burning Adam's stuff,
Yeah.
which
Uh-huh. And
again
caught the
was just,
tree on fire.
he got the tree on fire, which was just again so interesting that he's just trying so hard. He,
Mm-hmm.
like, he doesn't really know how to take any of this. He knows that he wants to stand by his wife, but he doesn't know what to do. So his reactions to everything, while Shauna is pretty like cold and calculating and wants to get the job done, he reacts in a very different way from her.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm very curious to see how their relationship and what they go through unfolds because I think
Yeah.
this is just getting started.
Oh, which I wasn't really interested in watching until this sort of turn at the end of season one for him.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm very interested to
Yeah.
see how this plays out.
I also think their daughter can cause some trouble for them
Hmm.
because she seems hell bent on doing so in
Yeah.
some way.
And with her, I'm not sure what her game is, because is it she wants to investigate this stuff because of the morality of it, or does she want to get back at her mom, or like what is going on
I
here?
think it's a little bit of both.
Hmm.
Yeah. So moving on to Misty.
Let me tell you, I was not expecting Christina Ricci to play a character like this.
Oh yeah.
Like in like the previews that I had seen, because like I said, I'd only watched
Mm-hmm.
the show this weekend. Um and she's just fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
she's so
She's good.
unhinged and so smart. It's great.
She's
It's great to
crazy.
watch.
She's crazy.
Crazy.
So she was another one. She came back on screen in the same scene as Shauna
Hmm.
in this episode, and of course she's using a voice emulator to
Yeah.
fake interrogate her.
So funny.
The thing that got me is she says that's why I put it on the cake. And it says,
On the cookie. Yeah, that's why it's on the cookie.
yeah, on the cookie cake. I want to talk to my lawyer. Which that also got a huge laugh out of the theater when I saw
Yeah.
it. Oh, it was it really set the tone for the rest of the episode. I felt like
So
she's
good.
just so unhinged. Um,
It's great, and she like she takes every little thing as like a betrayal, or she's just
Mhm.
so fucking insecure.
Yeah. I think, just the gist of her character, she didn't have necessarily a whole lot of developments as a character in this episode, but
Mm-mm.
she's just doing her usual bullshit where she's
Yeah,
in everybody's business and she's got this endless need to be wanted.
yeah.
And she will clearly do whatever she can to satisfy that need. So I'm sure she's going to end up in some crazy places.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to see her and Nat together again.
Hmm.
I think it's some of the strongest stuff in the show is when all the women in the present are like get back
Yeah,
together.
for sure.
So I'm interested to see her. I want to see her team up again, probably with Nat, but
Hmm.
because that's who she's hunting right now.
Yeah.
Interesting that like they have these digs at citizen sleuths while also pointing out that they can be right sometimes.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
it's just like Misty. Misty is interesting because she's so unhinged, but she's so smart.
Yeah. Oh, she is clearly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's already seeing one of the citizen detectives already on her trail
Yeah,
of Shauna.
she downvotes it.
Her angry downvote. She slams her computer shut. She's so good.
She's so scary. I love it.
Yeah, she scares the shit out of me.
Me too. I know.
So speaking of people scaring the shit out of me, I want to move on to Thaisa. She definitely seemed like the most together at the beginning of season 1, and now I think she seems like the most unhinged out of anybody, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I'll agree with that.
Rip Biscuit.
Red biscuit.
So, and of course, it opens on her getting another dog. Like,
I know, Steve.
poor Steve.
Poor
Like,
Steve.
the shot of her saying, "I'm gonna do better with you, Steve." Steve's
Are
just
you?
like, as he stares at Biscuit's head, like, oh God, that's horrifying.
I know. This is interesting because like you said, she has sort of like the biggest length to fall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's
Mhm.
got a really good marriage. She's got a kid who loves her, but she's elected to
she's
official office.
she's
She's
elected into
elected
office.
official,
Yeah.
and she has the furthest to fall.
Oh yeah.
And this is interesting. I also want to know, like, kind of going back to your point about is this supernatural?
Hmm.
Because she did some sort of ritual when she was sleepwalking. Clearly, this
Yeah.
was a real ritualistic thing. So, did that actually contribute to her winning? Because no one
Hmm.
thought that she would win,
Right.
or is that just sort of uh, red herring? I was gonna say blue herring. Is that just a red herring? I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I'm curious to see what happens because her life is already starting to fall apart. Like now her wife is not living in the same house and taking the kid away and
And terrified of her.
terrified of her. Yeah, and she gives her an ultimatum like go get help or we're gone. So
Also, go get help or I will tell everybody about it.
that too.
And you will lose everything.
Exactly. So she really kind of does have to do something about it.
Mhm. She's also really, and this is super true to her character when she was younger too, is like she's really adverse to getting help.
Mhm.
Like she said, is like for as much shit as you went through,
Yeah.
I don't know why you won't get help.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's interesting. Also,
Yeah.
conspiracy theory time. Was it even her that did the ritual?
Hmm. Oh, really? You think it might have been someone else?
I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
just saying conspiracy theory. Was it the cult? Did
Hmm.
they off Travis and did they do this ritual?
Hmm. I don't know. I think
I'm
she probably
stretching.
did it.
I'm reaching,
You're
but yeah.
reaching, but you never know. So,
No, because all you ever see is her in the tree. Oh no, she did it.
she did it.
She did it because she
Yeah.
had the bite mark on her hand.
Mhm.
Biscuit
Yeah.
fought back.
Yeah. Yep. And then going to her teenage years, it's like this issue she's having with sleepwalking and doing the stuff when she's not lucid is getting worse.
Yeah.
You know, and it's to the point where she's sleeping separately from everyone else, except for Van, which
Let me say really quick, Van might be my favorite,
oh
one of
yeah,
my favorite
yeah,
characters
me
of,
and
of the
Marcy
young
too.
cast.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
fucking love Van. And
yeah,
also the actress that plays her,
yeah.
she's amazing.
She's great. Yeah, Van is underrated. I think
Van is
she's
underrated.
yeah, like
I rewatched too, like the first just a couple of sections that I thought were important. So I went back and rewatched them. And the side of her face that was like burned, or like, had the
Yeah.
was the same side of her face that the wolf bit into.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, why, man?
At least it's just one side of her face that's messed up.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I adore that character. I think the
she's
actress
great.
that plays her is fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
She's so realistic. She's so naturalistic. I love her.
I agree. Yeah, no, she's definitely like leaning towards my favorite character.
Mhm.
Because she goes through all this stuff, yet she still maintains also like a sense of positivity and just going with it.
Yeah, she's got this really like dry wit that I love
Right.
about her, and she's the one that's like trying to keep spirits up, especially with Ty. So yeah, she's great.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And even just going back to that scene where Thaisa ends up biting Van. It's like she doesn't like get away from me or anything like that. She's like, oh, let's just deal with it.
Yeah, this is something that's happening to you.
Right. Yeah.
And that's an interesting perspective on it.
It is, yeah. It's a very understanding perspective, I think.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I'm curious to see what happens to those two characters.
Yeah, but also the sort of the tangling of Van is starting to sort of be a follower of Lottie.
That too. There's kind of that rift between them a little bit because Van is kind of accepting of these rituals and religious beliefs, and Tice is just so turned off by anything like that. Yeah. So,
and how far is Van gonna take it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So, and just there wasn't a lot of past Natalie in this.
No.
But the thing with she's still so willing to give her all for what Travis needs in the past, and they're hunting for Javi.
Not just Javi though, but their intention is to find food, but Travis is set on finding him out there, which I think is just a long shot.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's just not realistic at all.
And I think Natalie knows that.
She knows, yeah. And I think he knows too, but he's hanging on because that's all he can do. Yeah. So, but Natalie's been good for him, and kind of like, I like that she's kind of taking a role as a leader of the group by providing. Yeah. And she's kind of got a purpose that makes her feel like she's doing something for everyone.
Yeah, Natalie's an interesting character for me. Because she could really easily push into the cliche. She could. But she doesn't. She's smart and she's self-sufficient, and she's also a provider, which is not something that you see very often from these like quote unquote burnout characters.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's very realistic in the present time as an addict who just she knows, she's so smart, she knows how to manipulate people, she knows how to get what she wants, but she's driven by something.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm very curious to see how her role develops, when they're in the forest, and also just moving back to the present, like what is going to happen with her being stuck in that cult.
Why is she there?
Why is she there?
Why do they bring her there?
And Lottie clearly knows she's there. So like what did she want her for?
Exactly.
Of all people. Like
of all people.
Yeah.
Because like she took, if they did take Travis, if this is what happened, then why are they moving on to Natalie? Also, I want to jump back to the past really quick to address like Natalie called it a panic attack. That Lottie was able to calm down, calm down, and then he popped a boner. I want to know what is that about? Does Travis start becoming a follower of Lottie? Did that carry? Did that carry into the present? or
Right.
what is happening here?
Yeah, because when you go back to when Misty and Nat were trying to figure out what happened to Travis or where he was, you know, Natalie says Travis never believed in any of this stuff.
Hmm.
So, like, or did
But
he?
did he?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. Interesting though.
Interesting. So that's kind of sums up where everybody's at. It was kind of just a set up and establish kind of episode,
Hmm.
picking right up where everything left off and setting up for season two. That was the gist of it. But the big twist of the end was Shauna keep carrying that ear around all episode,
Yeah.
and you knew she was gonna do it, but you're like, don't do it. And
Don't do
she
it.
did it, and she
She keeps
ate
staring at it.
Jackie's ear. I have
Hmm.
to say, in the theater, that got the most disgusted, like, groan from the entire audience. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was such a good theater moment
I'm
because
so glad I'm so glad it hit with everyone.
oh, everyone just went oh, like, and then you heard everyone like awkwardly laughing, and then the credits rolled. It was great. I loved
That's
it.
so
It
good.
was such a
Yeah.
good theater moment.
This is an interesting because we're seeing her. That was like it's such a fast decline for Shauna, and obviously like the time is a little like hard to
Mm-hmm.
put your finger on in the
Yeah.
past.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a sharp decline from her for her. Like she's the first, assumably the first one to
Mm-hmm.
commit an act of cannibalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
There's some theories going around saying maybe she will get the group to eat Jackie, or maybe she will secretly feed Jackie to the group and mix it with like deer meat.
I don't
Scratch
think
it.
that she'll do that because Jackie is hers.
Yeah, good point.
That's my
Um,
hot take.
yeah, I know. I'm curious to see what happens with
Hmm.
Jackie's body.
Yeah. If they do eat Jackie's body, I don't think that it'll be Shauna
Hmm.
that initiates it. I don't
Yeah,
know who's gonna initiate it,
yeah.
but I also want to talk about who like where the signs are pointing as to who that girl was in the opening of the
Hmm. Yeah,
of the series
right.
that gets hunted and eaten.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably Mari,
Hmm.
just based off long, dark brown, black hair, physique. You know what little they show of like her facial structure. It does seem to be probably her. Um,
I think signs point to her too because she is the one that's really committed to sort of like othering Misty.
mhm,
She keeps messing with Misty,
mhm,
and at the end of episode 1, Misty takes off her
mhm.
fur and smiles,
Yeah,
and that just seems like a Misty thing for me to be like,
yeah.
this was revenge for me.
That makes sense. Yeah.
She got what she wanted.
The one other thing I want to bring up too is they added 3 new cast members
Hmm.
into the group of kids in the forest. And that was
Hmm.
a little jarring for me at first because
Yeah,
it
me
so
too.
clearly weren't there in season one. Like
Yeah,
even in the wide shots where they have like everyone in the
everyone.
shot to make it feel like a big group, like clearly none of the people are them. So
Yeah,
I get why they did it. It just is a
yeah,
little jarring.
for
Um,
me too.
yeah, but they seem like great characters. Like
Mhm.
especially the one I can't remember her name, but she's like, "Oh, you can learn to harmonize with me," to Misty, and Misty
Oh
really
yeah,
liked that. And
Misty's
now
like
she,
a friend.
yeah, and now she's like, "Oh, I can use this as a way to initiate friendship." So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious to see how all these characters fit into the new season.
You also there's a little bit more emphasis too on like fractioning happening
Hmm.
because the
Yeah.
the main group that we see all the time was talking over here, and this new group,
Hmm.
including the gal who likes to hum, we're like, what do you think they're talking about?
Right. Yeah.
And so
They're all
we're
divvied up.
starting to see that, yeah,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's going to be chaotic.
Hmm.
And I want to know if this turns into followers of Lottie versus everyone else, if this turns into a what this looks like.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like it has to. And if
Hmm.
you go back to that very first episode in season 1, I believe there's 9 people that partake in the cannibalism ritual. So I guess we'll see who those people are.
Yeah.
But
also, we're gonna eventually see Shauna give birth.
yeah, or not.
What do you mean?
I mean, she could still miscarry, I feel like.
Oh yeah, she could definitely still miscarry.
Marcy had a very dark suggestion.
I wonder if it's the same dark suggestion that I had in my head. Tell me. Give me more,
she
bro.
Said, do you think they're gonna eat the baby?
That was what I thought too. That was exactly what I thought. I was like, is this gonna be a thing? Like, I don't think Shauna would be like, yeah, here, eat my baby. I think that potentially they could be like, that looks succulent.
Oh God.
I'm just saying. They already ate a chick. Like we already saw them eat one of the girls. That was my thought too.
That's pretty dark for TV standards, even by like Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't fucking want to see it. I hated seeing
either.
it in the movie Mother, but
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was something that popped into my head too.
Oh yeah.
Me and Marcy, man.
Yeah, you're synced
We're
up.
separated somewhere down the line by birth.
Well, yep. So that's pretty much our little summary of season 2, episode 1, and there's lots of paths this can take, and we're just gonna see what way it goes.
I'm really excited. Thank you for like telling me, no, you need to watch this for the podcast.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I mean, of all the shows out right now that are kind of like coming out, that none of them seem like discussion worthy except for this one. I can't imagine doing a podcast on any other TV series out at the moment.
Yeah, this is rife for discussion. I love this. This is exactly my speed. I really love this show.
Yeah, I think it's a good fit. So
yeah.
Well, that's it till next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you next week with episode 2.